You wake up in the morning and you think, damn, that 14-year-old Honda is a disgrace. My friends and neighbors giggle every time I drive by. I need to get rid of that old fart and get something fancier. I saved good money, so why not? This is one of those moments which can heavily influence your financial situation for the years to come, or perhaps for decades. If your goal is financial freedom, then learning how to deal with cars is absolutely critical because there are tons of traps along the way. Let's get to it. First up, it's no brainer that new cars are expensive. The price tags got scary, especially after the COVID 19 pandemic, due to inflation swings and disruption in supply chains. In Europe, the prices increase also due to stricter emission norms and a growing list of mandatory equipment and safety features. But then there's the bigger problem. When you go to a dealership and you want to buy a car, the skinny salesman with phony smile on his face will do everything to convince you that you need to use some form of financing, be it consumer loan or lease. In some countries, dealerships tend to earn more money on pure financing than on the sales margin, which, by the way, is kind of crazy. And then there's you and your ego. If you see your neighbor in, say, BMW X3, then perhaps you want to keep up with the Joneses and also buy BMW X3, but in a higher trim. Or maybe even BMW X5 or X6, so that you can feel superior to them. But can you really afford it? And then, if you do the math and prove that you really can afford it, should you still buy it? Let's take a closer look. There's no single universal way of telling if a given car is affordable to you or not. But let's keep things simple and use some common sense here. As a rule of thumb, your car payment should probably not exceed 15% of your monthly budget. If you want to purchase a car outright, be it new or pre-owned, the total price paid, including all taxes, registration fees, and insurance, should not exceed a third of your total savings. The worst thing you can do is to max yourself out on a car because you want to impress other people and convince them that you are super successful and affluent just because you drive an expensive car. If this is what you did or what you're planning to do, please take a step back and spend some time to process two simple questions. 1. Why exactly do I want to impress those other people in the first place? Do those other people really care about you? And why the hell you care about what they may think of you? Let's get this straight. If these people are your friends, but you are pretty sure they may think you are a loser just because you drive an old, shabby car, then you are wrong and they definitely are not your friends, and you should not give a damn about them. Question number 2. Is a better impression of being rich and successful more important to me than achieving yet another step to the true financial freedom? Impression is just an impression. It's not true. It's not tangible. It may feel nice to take a few fancy pictures with yourself driving a Porsche, but if it means your personal budget is in shambles and you eat reheated rice and beans 5 times a week just to make sure you can afford your monthly car payment, then clearly that does not make sense, does it? Which brings us to the essence. What car you really need and how you should find it? Number one, don't buy new cars. If you are still on your journey to financial freedom, then your biggest friend is the concept of value for money. Since new cars lose value quickly, buy a pre owned car. Since the sharpest loss of value usually happens within the first 3 years, aim for a car that is about 3 years old. In many cases, such cars will still hold a warranty. Number two, you don't need luxury cars. Your ego may hurt, but a rational person aiming to secure his or her financial freedom in the long run treats cars as commodity. It is means of transportation, nothing more. It must be reliable and safe. Aim for popular brands, not luxury brands. Number three, reliability is king. The idea is that once you buy a car, you want to drive it as long as you can until it breaks down completely beyond repair or simply until rust eats it down to the bone. You don't want to change your car every 4 or 5 years. Forget about it. Ideally, you want to drive it a decade or more. But to make this reasonable, you need to find a car that is very reliable, so you won't need to pay much for repair. And ideally, you also want something with low maintenance cost and excellent fuel consumption. Okay, so which brand you should choose? I won't obviously endorse any particular brand, but I do recommend you do a little research using the well-established global car reliability reports. The few examples are VDS, TUV report, Warranty-Wise Reliability Index, or DEKRA Used Car Report. You can find links to all those reports in the description of this video. So take a look, browse different categories, and make a more informed decision. Number four, avoid financing. Using a consumer loan or lease means you pay additional cost of interest. In some circumstances, that may have a financial justification. When you run a business and interest on car gives you some form of tax deduction. But if you buy a car for your private purposes, you typically don't deduct anything, and that car financing becomes yet another burden in your budget, which is unnecessary. Number five, think about the purpose. If you're single and you live downtown and have a tiny parking space, then why would you want to buy a big-ass SUV that you can barely squeeze? If you have a calm personality, why would you want a car with a V8 turbocharged engine? The point is simple. Think of your daily routine, where you typically drive and whether you will be driving alone or perhaps with your partner or kids. And then ask yourself what kind of car will be ideal given these use patterns. And that's about it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, please like it and hit that subscribe button. I also appreciate all your comments. Thanks and take care.